The first Grand Master of the Moha school defended the city for young Chenjin. The purple-yellow jade was split into two, becoming a token, and was then passed down to Chaxiongzi. All subsequent generations use the yellow jade as the Grand Master's token. You hold the yellow jade. Yet, you are not the Grand Master of the Moha school. Who then are you? Lin Jin was greatly alarmed. He had served as a retainer under Fusu for 2 years, and never had anyone recognize this yellow jade as the Moha's token. Are you also a Moha's successor? I am certainly no Moha's successor. The Mohist ways are bound to be phased out sooner or later. They are tasteless to consume, yet a pity to discard. I bear you no ill will, and even rescued you from prison. It is one thing for you to be ungrateful, but to insult me thus, if you do not explain yourself today, I shall certainly not spare you. Brother Lin Jin, am I mistaken in what I said? The Moha school, and even Mohas themselves, are a bunch of hypocrites. You insult me so. Enough, there is no need to pretend anymore. As a Moha's successor, if you possess no martial arts skills, how can you traverse the Jianghu? I fear you would lose face for the Mohist wandering knights. If you wish to kill me, you could instantly make my blood splatter on the spot within 5 steps. You could instantly make my blood splatter on the spot. Why then this pretense? Lin Jin was even more surprised. It was as if he had nowhere to hide from Xia Ren's gaze. Universal love and non-aggression. This is a grand ideal. Back then, Mozi disdained Confucian thought. Sir, why do you say so? Both Mozi and Sage Kong were great scholars. It is not for the likes of us to fathom their minds. To say that Mozi looked down upon Confucian teachings, I fear it might be somewhat biased. Speaking of greatness, no one is greater than Mozi. The ideas he proposed are truly the pure ideas of an ideal world. Even more so than what you speak of as the great unity under heaven, it is an even more idealized world. But precisely because it is too idealistic, it is destined not to be realized. The reason Mozi looked down upon Confucian thought is because Mozi's philosophy of universal love and non-aggression is truly a philosophy of universal equality, whereas Confucian thought, to put it plainly, is simply a philosophy of people oppressing people. Sir, do not make such arbitrary conclusions. I still thought Xia Ren truly looked down upon the Moha school and was a Confucian disciple. I never expected him to have such high praise for the Moha school. Confucianism has always spoken of the ruler as ruler and minister as minister, and father as father and son as son, dividing people into different classes and nations into large and small. It is precisely because of this that Confucianism received the favor of monarchs. But should this world truly be like this? The ruler oppresses the minister oppresses the common folk are divided into noble and lowly. Serfs and despised merchants are oppressed layer by layer from above. But hundreds of years ago, we were all equally farmers. All were hunters. Was there any difference back then? The most ridiculous thing is, Confucianism, on top of this inequality and oppression, still speaks of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, making your oppression seem reasonable and logical, making you feel it is natural and right, that it should be so. Confucianism. That is why Mozi looked down upon Confucianism. Fusu slumped onto the ground, his face filled with disbelief. Is this not treasonous talk? All land and common folk under heaven belong to the monarch. It should be so. Yes, indeed. No wonder our Moha school looks down upon Confucianism. No wonder back then, the world was either Confucian or Mohist. The philosophy Mozi advocated was universal equality, no matter your status or position. When we meet, we are all the same. There is no need for me to bow to you, nor for anyone to kowtow. Everyone is the same. But it is precisely because of this philosophy that the Moha school was destined for destruction, because it did not conform to the interests of monarchs and clans. Did Mozi not know these things? He knew, but he still persisted in his own philosophy. That is why I say Mozi is great. Sir, please accept this bow from Lin Jin. It was Lin Jin who was rash. Your insights into Confucianism and Mohism, sir, have enlightened Lin Jin. Thank you for your teachings, sir, because I spoke well of your Moha school. You then think well of me. What if I were to curse the Moha school next? Then it must be that you, sir, are speaking out for the Moha school and pointing out a way forward for it. Lin Jin again bows in gratitude to you. Sir. I am quite appreciative of Mozi. With the passage of time, the Mohist philosophy will gradually blossom into splendor. However, you Mohists, this group of people, are utterly hypocritical. Please enlighten me, sir. Your ancestors all spoke of universal love and non-aggression. This is universal love, to love every person, to love equally, without distinction of rank. However, your Mohist schools split into those in power. The Grand Master produced elders, produced Mohists, and produced wandering knights. You all speak of non-aggression, yet you adopt the most drastic means. Participating in every war, standing on the side you deem right. You established Mohist wandering knights, killing those whom you deem to be wrong. You became enforcers of law, became killers, became representatives of law. But are you truly so? Zia Ren's words were like a sharp sword, piercing directly into the heart of him, a Mohist, shattering the current state of the Mohist school, and shattering his impression of it. May I ask, sir, how should the Mohist school act to restore the former prosperous era where it was either Confucian or Mohist? Impossible. Could it be that the Mohist school truly has no hope left? Brother Lin Jin, you need not be overly saddened. It is the trend of the times. Indeed, it is the trend of the times. It is not that Mozi failed the people of the world, but rather that this era failed the Mohist school, and is not worthy of it. If it were thousands of years later, Mohist philosophy at that time would certainly blossom into its most brilliant splendor. No one could compete with it for glory. Ha ha ha. Thousands of years. Thousands of years. The most urgent matter for the Mohist school now. Do you know what it is? Please enlighten me, sir. It is to let the Mohist school survive. Survive until 1,000 years from now. Survive until the moment it can blossom into brilliant splendor. Lin Jin couldn't help but be startled, suddenly widening his eyes, and radiance blossomed forth anew in his eyes. Yes, indeed, the most urgent matter now is none other than to let the Mohist school survive. If the Mohist school were to perish thus, its legacy would be completely severed. 1,000 years of time is but a drop in the ocean, is but a fleeting moment, condensed into a few pages in history. Duplicate of part of 173. Please enlighten me, sir. I am willing to give you a method to let the Mohist school survive. Are you willing to listen? I am willing to listen. Fusu is the eldest prince of Great Qin. According to the Confucian rule of law, he should be the successor of Great Qin. Can one discuss matters of the crown prince so openly? I fear Zia Ren's ambitions are not small. If Prince Fusu becomes the second emperor of Qin, if you bring the Mohist multitude to support Prince Fusu, your Mohist school will certainly have a place in future generations. Lin Jin is willing to assist Prince Fusu. Still not calling him lord. Lin Jin pays his respects to my lord. With Lin Jin's assistance, Fusu is like a tiger with wings. Thank you, sir, for pointing out the way. The beautiful women outside must be getting impatient. Let them all come in. Oh, sir, why this indulgent manner? If you wish to promote the Mohist school, first put away your ascetic ways. Opposing entertainment. Entertainment is also a part of human civilization, one of the important factors for its progress. Just like books, it is also spiritual sustenance. Come. Continue the music. Continue the dance. Prince, how can you be so extravagant, indulging in pleasure with Yong Wuji in the Eastern Palace? If others were to find out, they would certainly impeach you. Many ministers are currently submitting memorials, recommending candidates for Crown Prince. How can you be negligent at such a time? Minister Meng, do not block my view. I cannot see anything anymore. These people were called by me. Do not stop. Continue the music. Continue the dance. All of you, get out. I originally thought you were a loyal and virtuous man, which is why the prince valued you so. I never expected you to thus bewitch the prince and covet pleasure. One cannot say it like that. Life in this world is but 30,000 days. To enjoy one day is to live one day. To suffer is one day. To be joyful is also one day. Why not joyfully pass each day? HMPH Prince, please dismiss your attendants. I have important matters to discuss with you. No need. These two are both my confidants. There is no need to hide anything. Minister Meng, please speak directly. Hearing this, Meng Yi nodded slightly. He was truly afraid that Fusu would dismiss Xia Ren. This time, he came mainly to ask for Xia Ren's opinion. His Majesty thinks your suggestion is good, so he sent me to ask for your specific suggestions, Prince. He has entrusted me with full responsibility for this matter. Imperial Father thinks what I said is right. Prince, His Majesty is still very concerned about you. Furthermore, His Majesty's physical condition is not very good now. I hope that in the future, when you offer advice to His Majesty, you can be a bit more tactful. Do not offend His Majesty again. How exactly is my Imperial Father's physical condition now? Fusu understood. To be honest, the suggestion for managing books and the 100 schools of thought was told to me by Mr. Xia. Mr. Xia should have a more detailed plan. May I ask, Mr., how to implement the methods for managing all books and scholars under heaven? How to govern the thoughts of all under heaven, so that all may serve great Qin? This is quite like Yin Zhang's character. Domineering, wanting everything. The specific implementation still requires exploration. I can only offer a few suggestions. Mister, please speak. Firstly, a specialized department should be established to manage all scholars under heaven. Path of all under heaven. I shall name it the Hanlin Academy. The Hanlin Academy has many functions. It can arrange various talents for the imperial court, such as literature, classics and arts, divination and medicine, calligraphy, painting, music, and it can also gather scholars from all under heaven to revise historical records, verify official histories, and so forth. Furthermore, it can become the drafter of the Son of Heaven's private imperial edicts, and also serve as a repository of talent for selecting officials for the imperial court. Meng Yi's pupils involuntarily trembled. He had originally thought the Hanlin Academy was merely for managing books. He never expected that the Hanlin Academy envisioned by Mr. Xia would have such profound importance. This place will undoubtedly be in existence of unparalleled status in the future, even becoming a unique force within the imperial court. Is this not the place I have envisioned in my heart? A place for scholars to display their talents, and furthermore, to select talents for the imperial court. Mr. is indeed a great talent. Mr. Xia is not only extremely knowledgeable about both Mohism and Confucianism, but also possesses such profound insight into the imperial court. Is there anything Mr. Xia does not know? Having spoken of its functions, I shall now tell you how to control all scholars under heaven. It is actually quite simple. With the Hanlin Academy as its core, it shall review and compile all books under heaven, granting the academicians of the Hanlin Academy immense authority to compile all books under heaven. These individuals shall be selected from among the scholars of the 100 schools of thought. Let them control the scholars themselves. As for the standards of control, they shall be set by the imperial court. The 100 schools of thought are constantly in dispute. Gathering these individuals together will inevitably incite conflict. Without much prompting, they will gradually increase the review standards themselves, making them more stringent. A brilliant scheme. As for academic doctrines and philosophies, one can refer to the Jixia, Academy of the former state of Che. An academy can be established in Xianyang. All scholars of the 100 schools of thought who wish to propagate their ideas must come to this academy, and what they teach must be reviewed by the Hanlin Academy. In this way, the literary path of all under heaven shall be controlled by Great Qin. Mr. Strategy is truly a policy for Great Qin's prosperity. It is His Imperial Majesty who unified his estates, establishing an unprecedented unified dynasty, whose achievements shall span 10,000 generations. I believe that besides the dynastic title, an era name is also needed. May I ask, Mister, what is an era name? An era name is a title used to record the chronological order of a dynasty, and it is a representative title of the emperor. For example, during His Majesty the First Emperor's reign, if auspicious signs descend from heaven, and history records Great Qin 30th year, how does the auspicious sign manifest itself? To whom does this auspicious sign descend? If an era name is set for His Majesty, the First Emperor, then one can say, in the 30th year of the First Emperor's era name, auspicious signs descended from heaven. His achievements shall span 10,000 generations. Is it not much clearer then? Precisely. In this way, it can further embody the greatness of His Majesty the First Emperor. This aligns well with Confucian thought. Then, according to Mr., what era name should His Majesty the First Emperor adopt? I have thought of 2 era names. They can be offered to His Majesty for selection later. It is a pity His Majesty the First Emperor is not here today. If he were here, he would surely applaud Mr. Xi's strategy. His Majesty the First Emperor, as the first in history, to achieve great unification, a magnificent emperor, unified weights and measures, standardized chariots and writing, all are great feats. Therefore, I believe it should be called Shitong Historical Unification, or Yuan Kishi 1 or Ajin Revelation. Shitong, Yuan Kishi. Which of these two do you think is better? I believe Mr. is truly a great talent. I shall now proceed to the palace to report this matter to His Majesty, the First Emperor. If His Majesty agrees, it will signify the dawn of a new era. Mr. Zia, Grand Minister Meng, pray wait. I have not yet finished speaking. There are more strategies. Mr., please speak. After the era name is established, I shall present another strategy to His Majesty, which can allow His Majesty's name to be etched in history and be revered by all scholars under heaven. What? The one most detested by scholars under heaven is His Majesty the First Emperor? Mr. Zia, can you truly make His Majesty the First Emperor revered by all scholars under heaven? After establishing the Hanlin Academy and organizing all books under heaven, a grand compilation can be revised. It will encompass everything, gathering the words of all schools into one. This is indeed a good method, but to be renowned for 10,000 ages and revered by all scholars under heaven, I fear that is somewhat overstated. After His Majesty determines the era name, if Shitong is chosen as the era name, it can be called the Shitong Grand Compilation. If Yuan Kishi is chosen, it can be called the Kishi Grand Compilation. When it comes to pleasing His Majesty the First Emperor, none can compare to Mr. If the Grand Compilation is named after the era name, for hundreds and thousands of years, whenever it is mentioned, everyone will only remember one name. They will all recall this emperor. What glory is this? What renown? This grand compilation will include the doctrines of all schools, as well as agricultural texts, methods of practice, medical texts, astrology, divination, and the like, encompassing myriad things. It will gather all books under heaven within it. As time passes, it can be continuously revised. This book shall be passed down for 10,000 generations. Those who revise this book shall also have achievements spanning 10,000 generations, and be remembered by the world. Mr. Zia, how exactly is your mind formed? This strategy will surely bring great joy to His Majesty, and is a matter of achievement spanning 1,000 ages. Meng Yi, on behalf of His Majesty, and on behalf of the people of all under heaven, thanks Mr. for his counsel. Mr.'s name shall surely be renowned for 1,000 ages. Mr.'s strategy has left a legacy for human civilization, and left classics for all scholars under heaven. This is a great merit. Fusu bows in gratitude for Mr.'s benevolence. Mr. has bestowed kindness upon all under heaven. Today, I thank Mr. as well. For Lin Jin, the significance of this grand compilation is immense, because modest works will surely also be selected for the compilation. In this way, modest thought can also be passed down to future generations. I merely offered counsel. Only one person in all under heaven can accomplish this, and that is His Majesty the First Emperor. I shall now go and report to His Majesty. His Majesty will surely bestow further rewards upon Mr. Grand Minister Meng. Pray stay your steps. I have a matter to request. Mr. Please speak. Meng Yi will certainly not decline. I wish to ask Grand Minister Meng to help me find a person. Upon hearing this, Meng Yi immediately thought of something, and his expression became strange. I met a person in prison. Although there was a great difference in our ages, and our acquaintance was brief, we both still regarded each other as bosom friends. This person was imprisoned for privately possessing books, and sentenced to be cut in half at the waist. Yet this person harbored the world in his heart, cared for the common people, and also wished to share the nation's burdens. I greatly admire this person. But alas, I do not know his name. I trouble Grand Minister Meng to help me investigate this person, to see if anyone has collected his body for burial. I wish to go and mourn him. If no one has collected his body, I am willing to go and bury him, to show my respect. Is this not His Majesty the First Emperor? How can I investigate this? What can I say? Can Grand Minister Meng find this person? The specific details I will only know after I return and investigate. In that case, I shall trouble Grand Minister Meng. Meng Yi cupped his hands in a salute, bade farewell to Fusu and Lin Jin, and quickly departed. Come in quickly, let the music and dancing continue. Your Majesty, Meng Yi has an urgent matter to report. When has beloved Minister Meng ever been so anxious? Your Majesty, I have just returned from the young master's residence. Mr. Zia has thoroughly explained to me the methods for managing all scholars under heaven. The methods for controlling scholars under heaven. Speak quickly, your subject dares to request Your Majesty's permission to sit. He spoke while recording on silk. I permitted. Both sat down. Both held forth hairbrushes, as Meng recounted. Both lowered their heads and recorded. When he spoke of the most brilliant parts, Yingzheng could not help but exclaim in admiration, "Hey, haha! Mr. Zia is indeed a great talent. If I were to have Mr. Z's assistance, it would surely be like adding wings to a tiger." Your Majesty, Mr. Zia also proposed another suggestion. Speak quickly. Mr. Zia proposed the method of era names. Excellent. Truly excellent. I truly do not know how Mr. Zia's mind is formed to be able to conceive such ingenious ideas. Upon hearing this, Meng Yi also recalled having said similar words to His Majesty. Wondering how Mr.'s mind was formed to possess such great talent. Beloved Minister Meng, you must not be curious about Mr. Z's mind. That is a treasure of great Qin. It must be kept securely on Mr. Z's neck to unleash its greatest utility. Hey, ha ha ha, Your Majesty. Which is more suitable, Shitong or Yuan Keishi, or perhaps at tomorrow's morning court? Let the various officials of the court pool their wisdom. There is no need to rush. Tomorrow, I shall inquire about the opinions of the court officials. Your Majesty, Mr. Zia also had something to say. Furthermore, Mr. said he wishes to present Your Majesty with a grand gift. This strategy can allow Your Majesty's achievements to span 10,000 generations. Ensure your name is renowned for 1,000 ages and cause all scholars under heaven to revere you. It will make future generations of literati remember your benevolence. A gentleman also said he wanted to present His Majesty with a great gift. This plan can make His Majesty's achievements last for 10,000 generations. It can make your name famous for eternity. It can make all the scholars in the world admire you. It can make future generations of scholars remember your kindness. Speak quickly. Young Master Zia proposes combining the era name with the Grand Compendium, linking it to the era name. For instance, if the era name is Shitong, it shall be called the Shitong Grand Compendium. If it is called the Keishi Grand Compendium, then it shall be called the Keishi Grand Compendium. The Grand Compendium shall encompass various academic disciplines, including agricultural texts, methods of metallurgy, arts, literature, divination, and the like. It shall be all-encompassing, gathering all books under heaven within its pages. As time passes, it can be continuously revised. Yingzheng listened, his eyes gradually lighting up. His excited body ceased its slight trembling. Mr. Zia said, "This compendium shall be passed down for 10,000 ages. And those who revise it shall also have achievements spanning 10,000 ages. They shall be remembered by the world and revered by scholars." Meng Yi believed that future emperors would surely follow suit. Continuing to revise the Grand Compendium, constantly perfecting it, and passing it down through the ages, it can truly be called a priceless treasure. By then, Your Majesty's name shall surely be renowned for all eternity. Excellent, excellent, hey ha ha ha. Mr. Zia is truly the lucky star of my great Qin. Such a grand compendium will not only ensure achievements, it is truly wonderful, but civilization shall also never be severed. I must bestow a reward. I must heavily reward him. What do you think I should bestow upon Mr. Zia? Your servant believes it would be better to entrust the Hanlin Academy to Mr. Zia's charge. Having Mr. Zia take charge of the Hanlin Academy is indeed a good choice. No, the establishment of the Hanlin Academy requires someone who deeply understands its regulations. Besides Mr. Zia, no one else is suitable. If that is the case, would I not be snatching talent from my own son? No, what position does Fusu hold now? Let us put that aside for a moment. Fusu currently serves in the Lesser Imperial Court. Fusu holds the position of Shayofu, Assistant Minister of the Imperial Secretariat. Fusu is naturally intelligent and well-versed in various classics. Let him be in charge of the Hanlin Academy's affairs then. Hey, what? Fusu, haha, what is it? Are you dissatisfied with my arrangements? Your servant dares not. It is merely that your servant believes that in doing so, it would be as if Fusu has taken Mr. Zia's reward. Your servant feels apprehensive. Hey ha ha ha, how could I forget Mr. Zia's reward? By my Imperial Household Department, bestow upon Mr. Zia 10,000 taels of gold in my name, 1,000 mu of fertile land, and a grand mansion in Xianyang City. Your Majesty, when your servant returned, Mr. Zia asked your servant to do something for him. What does he wish for you to help him with? Mr. Zia wishes for me to investigate who was with him that day, sharing the same prison cell. What did Mr. Zia say? Mr. Zia said he met a person in prison. He does not know his name, but the two became fast friends at first sight. They conversed happily, although their ages differed greatly, and they had known each other for a short time. They already regarded each other as bosom friends. A bosom friend? When have I ever had a bosom friend? Who in this world has ever truly understood me? What else did he say? He said that person was discussing state affairs even before his execution, wishing to share the nation's burdens. He greatly admires this person. He worries no one will collect his body and wishes to bury him. Meng Yi's voice grew softer and softer. He noticed Jin Zheng's eyes were slightly red, and his body was even trembling slightly. Ha 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 ha. If I were not an emperor, I would surely befriend him and become a most intimate friend, like Boya and Ziki. It is a pity I deceived him, and cannot meet him with my true face. Your Majesty, how should your servant respond to Mr. Xia? Yin Zhang also fell silent. The truth cannot be told to Mr. Xia yet. Your servant also feels the same. It is merely that your servant does not know how to explain it to Mr. Xia. If we simply find someone to deceive Mr. Xia, then if Mr. Xia learns the truth later, he might. Indeed, if I were to simply find someone to fool him, when the person he conversed with in prison was actually me, then how would I face Mr. Xia? Your Majesty, your servant believes I can delay for a while longer. Just tell Mr. Xia that too many people have been hiding books recently, and it is impossible to investigate for now. Ask Mr. Xia to wait a while longer, but your servant fears I cannot delay for too long. How long can you delay? Not too long. 10 days are enough. 10 days. 10 days is a bit long, but it is possible to force a delay. That is good. The prison cell was dim, and I had disguised my true appearance. He should not have recognized that it was I, should he? Ah, that day the prison cell was dim. One truly could not see faces clearly. However, your servant worries Mr. Xia might recognize your Majesty's physique, believing your Majesty's dragon body to be robust, not that of an ordinary person. Ha, that is fine then. As long as he does not recognize my face, there will be no issue. If he has doubts, I shall simply deny it. You may withdraw now. Do not forget what you should do at tomorrow's court session. Your servant understands. Your servant takes his leave. Mister, would you like to choose a few dancing girls to be sent to your room? Do you think I am so desperate? Yes, this is dedication. But a gentleman's love for beauty must also have an emotional foundation, not purely carnal desire. Mister is truly a gentleman. Young master. Do you know what we are to do next? Fusu knows. Go to Shang Commandery. The might of Great Qin has reached a critical juncture of life and death. The common people's grievances are rising everywhere, and the remnants of the 6 states are constantly inciting the populace. While the first emperor is on the throne, he can suppress everything. But you have also seen your imperial father's physical condition. It worsens day by day. Have you obtained those elixirs? I've already obtained them. Inside here are the immortal pills your imperial father uses. You can test them according to the method I told you, to see if they are poisonous. The position of crown prince can no longer be delayed. But your imperial father is very arrogant, believing he can still live for a long time. But in reality, his body has already reached the brink of exhaustion. Now, once the first emperor meets with an accident, the remnants of the 6 states will surely seize an opportunity to start young. To save Great Qin, that imperial throne must be yours. The matter of rebellion is imperative. Alas, Mr. Fusu has a question. Speak. If I persuade General Mengqia to lead 300,000 troops to attack Xianyang, what about Shang Commandery? What if the Hu people seize the opportunity to attack? Furthermore, 300,000 troops attacking Xianyang. Must our soldiers slaughter their own kin? Is that not too cruel? These people originally need not die. Wumanli Bun Evolance, HMPH. Fusu, think carefully. How many years have the various states fought among themselves? How many people have died? If Great Qin collapses suddenly, or the remnants of the 6 states incite the populace to rebel, and chaos erupts under heaven, how many more people will die? Mr. says the Hu people are known for their cavalry. Over these past few millennia, have the nomadic tribes harassed us few times? What can they only do each time? They just snatch things and run. There are losses, but not significant. If we attack Xianyang, there will also be losses, but this is a necessary sacrifice. But I said that was the worst-case scenario. What will truly happen is, we will certainly leave soldiers to guard Song Commandery, although their numbers are few. It is difficult to go out and attack the Hu people, but is defending the city difficult? Oh, furthermore, Meng Jia is not to be trifled with. He repelled the Hu people's 700 li. They dare not graze their herd southward. Now, when the Hu people hear Meng Jian's name, they tremble in fear. Do they dare to move southward in a short time? Do you think Meng Jian's reputation is undeserved? I naturally know General Meng Jian's name. Then there is no problem. Furthermore, attacking Xianyang is not a true attack. This is actually a psychological battle. A psychological battle? What does that mean? With your understanding of your imperial father, will he treat Meng Jia and the 300,000 troops outside the city with a great slaughter? Will he kill his old ministers? Naturally not. Therefore, the true confrontation is between you and Yingzheng. Our true purpose is to force Yingzheng to abdicate in your favor, not to truly attack the city. But will Imperial Father truly be willing to abdicate in my favor? By then, I will naturally be there. You need not worry. I am confident that the first emperor will 100% abdicate in your favor. Fusu, do you know what your most urgent task is now? What is it? You also have concubines now. Quickly have more children and cultivate a crown prince early, so that you will not be like your imperial father, hesitating, unable to make a decision. Ultimately, it is because the crown prince was not properly cultivated. Will you attend court tomorrow? Naturally, I must go. Mr. offered a plan to imperial father. Would you be willing to go with me? Imperial Father will surely bestow more rewards upon you. No, I cannot go. Furthermore, I do not advise you to go either. Why? There is no benefit in going. Therefore, I advise you not to go. Long live His Imperial Majesty. Long live, long live. All my beloved ministers, rise. If there are matters, preset them. If not, adjourn the court. Yingzheng looked around and noticed Meng Yu winking and gesturing at him. Yingzheng surveyed his surroundings. Upon seeing this, Yingzheng's expression immediately turned strange. Blast it. Fusu actually came too. Why did he come? Fusu has come as well. Why is he here? If he were here, how could I then display my sagacity? To put it plainly, Fusu being here would hinder my grand display. Fusu, your servant is here. Who permitted you to come? According to Imperial Father, as a Prince of Great Qin and a member of the court, I naturally have the right to participate, to share Imperial Father's burdens, and contribute my humble efforts for the common people. Your Majesty, your servant believes Prince Fusu cares for all under heaven. His character is upright, and moreover, he's the elder son. According to reason and law, Prince Fusu is the most suitable successor. I implore your Majesty to establish Prince Fusu as the crown prince. Blast it. No way. Blast it. Not again. Causing trouble for myself the moment court begins. If Imperial Father wished to establish a crown prince, he would have done so long ago. Why wait until now for Chanyu Yue to bring this matter up? Is he not pushing himself into a pit of fire? Humph, you scoundrel, get out. Your Majesty, your servant merely offers counsel. Prince Fusu is indeed the most suitable crown prince. I beg your Majesty to reconsider. Your Majesty, your servant believes Dr. Chanyu Yue speaks wisely, whether by rights and laws or by talent and virtue. Prince Fusu is the finest choice for successor. Enough. Fusu, you are not required at today's court assembly. Withdraw. Oh, so he wasn't speaking of me. What does His Majesty the First Emperor mean by this? To banish Fusu from the court. May I ask, Imperial Father, why? I command you to reflect deeply. Lifting your house arrest does not mean this sovereign permits you to appear. Indeed, Imperial Father is still displeased with me. Withdraw. Fusu, helpless, was dismissed by Yingzheng with a gesture, and under the gaze of all civil and military officials, he walked out of the hall. Very well, Feng Ya. How fares the disaster relief? The grain shall reach Beyondju this afternoon. How long do you believe this grain will sustain the people of Beyondju? Or rather, what do you believe is the true way to aid the Beyondju flood victims in overcoming this flood disaster? Your servant believes that once the flood waters recede, and the people begin to rebuild their homes, they will overcome this calamity. How long will it take for the floodwaters to recede? It is currently the flood season. If the waters do not recede swiftly, how shall they overcome this disaster? Many naturally knew Yin Zheng was about to make a grand display, so he quickly stepped forward to cooperate. Your Majesty, floods are merciless. As for the specific situation, your servant believes it would be best to await Fengya and the Imperial Censor's assessment of the disaster relief before reporting to your Majesty. Wait until the grain is consumed. The people continue to suffer. Displaced from their homes, starving corpses litter the fields, becoming vagrants scattered across the land, even coming outside Xionyang City to beg this sovereign for food and aid. Only then will you know the specific situation. Your Majesty, disaster relief has always been thus. Natural calamities are difficult to resist. Is it right simply because it has always been so? The system of slavery persisted for thousands of years. Yet, why did I abolish it? Why can there not be change? In ancient times, when floods raged, you the great tamed the waters. If the sky were to collapse, Nuwa would mend it. There is no difficulty we cannot overcome. When calamity strikes, one must naturally devise ways to resolve it, not merely send some grain and then cease to care. How shall the floodwaters recede? How shall the homes of the afflicted people be rebuilt? The farmlands covered by the silt-laden yellow river waters, how shall they be restored for cultivation? These are all matters you, as my subjects, should ponder, not merely dismiss with it has always been so, and deem all problems solved. Therefore, I ask you, how shall we thoroughly resolve this calamity? Beads of sweat, large as beans, trickled down Feng Ji's cheeks. Upon seeing this, Feng Kuji could not help but give a knowing glance to the civil official beside him. Your Majesty, your servant, believes that to thoroughly manage the disaster, we must clear the waterways and divert the flood waters. And then, there is also the matter of transporting the silt away and preparing the farmlands for continued cultivation. Naturally, we must also assist the victims in rebuilding their homes. Is there more, UH? Your servant can only think of these for now. Does any other beloved minister have a better solution? All civil and military officials lowered their heads, none daring to answer. Your Majesty, your servants know your Majesty is concerned for the people and wishes for reform. However, these matters cannot be accomplished overnight. We implore your Majesty to grant your servants some time to ponder carefully and thoroughly research. If I were to wait for you, my subjects, to devise a plan, Beyonju would long ago be strewn with corpses. Yin Zheng slowly rose, surveying. Not a single official dared meet his gaze. Alas! All civil and military officials combined are surprisingly not equal to Mr. Zia alone. I have several strategies. Listen closely, all of you. The civil and military officials all looked up, surprised, at Yin Zheng. First, you must understand one point. Why is a calamity called a calamity? It is because people suffer from it. Thus, the root of calamity is people. Calamity is because people suffer. And the root of calamity is people. These two sentences almost directly struck at the core of the calamity problem. The purpose of disaster relief is to solve the problems of the victims. Transporting relief grain is indeed solving a problem for the victims, but it only solves one problem, and not effectively. What are the problems of the victims? Their fields and homes are destroyed by floods. They have no shelter, no fertile land to cultivate. Their household grain is washed away. Their livestock is swept away. Their bodies suffer illness and pain from the dampness. Without grain, they cannot keep warm. These are all their problems, and these are the problems that our court needs to solve. Are these words that Yin Zheng could utter? Is this still the tyrannical first emperor Yin Zheng? When did he begin to think for the common people? When did he start to worrying about the lives and deaths of the populace? If these problems can be resolved, then disaster relief will fundamentally be resolved. Henceforth, should you encounter such situations again, you shall think in this manner to solve the problems. Your servant shall engrave your teachings upon our hearts. Yin Zheng raised his head high, his heart brimming with confidence. He felt that in the eyes of the officials at this moment, he must appear grand and towering, and in their hearts, they must be utterly astonished, awestruck by my talent. I have conceived of several strategies and methods for disaster relief. Listen closely, all of you. The first is to distribute relief grain. Establish gruel kitchens under the government's name to provide porridge to the people, and construct relief shelters to provide refuge for the victims. This shall resolve the lack of shelter and the suffering of hunger. The officials nodded repeatedly, believing it profoundly true. This method of relief is truly called in-kind disaster relief. Items to be distributed include grain, clothing, medicine, seeds, and other necessities, which can be provided according to the victim's need. The officials all praised, commending His Majesty's thorough consideration. Your Majesty, your sagacious display is truly impressive. There is one problem we cannot ignore or avoid. That is, the amount of grain consumed by the victims is immense. Beyonju has hundreds of thousands of affected people. If each person consumes 1 caddy of grain per day, the daily consumption would reach hundreds of thousands of caddies. The calamity cannot be resolved in a single day, and the vast amount of grain consumed is more than the imperial court can bear. Therefore, when necessary, a method of loan-based disaster relief can be offered. Your Majesty, may I ask what is this method of loan-based disaster relief? It is to lend grain to the victims, for the victims to cultivate grain in the coming year and repay it to the government thereafter, allowing the victims to independently resolve their current need for loans. How can we ensure the victims will use the grain for planting, rather than consuming it? What if they cannot repay it next year? That is a matter for another discussion. Secondly, relief through labor. Relief through labor is a long-term solution. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Rather than continuously providing grain to the victims and letting them await the passing of the calamity, it is better to let them find ways to sustain themselves and resolve the disaster. The government requires a large workforce. For instance, to clear accumulated silt, or to dig canals to drain water. The victims can exchange labor for grain. In this manner, these projects can advance swiftly, and the victims will also have grain. Furthermore, wealthy families and nobles also possess money and grain. And because the people are suffering from the disaster, laborers are naturally much cheaper. Let them seize this opportunity to construct houses and estates, pavilions and towers, and build roads, and the like. In this way, wealthy families and nobles can save much on labor costs, and the victims will have a source of income and grain. As the officials listened to Yin Zhang's discourse, their eyes sparkled with insight. Yin Zhang's words seemed to open a door to a new world. They could not help but have a thought emerge in their minds. So it can be done this way. Your Majesty, your servant believes that besides these, the taxes in the Beyonju region should be reduced or waived to alleviate the burden on the victims and grant them time to recover and recuperate. Excellent. You shall exempt Beyonju region from taxes for 3 years and exempt Beyonju from corvée labor for 2 years. We thank your Majesty. Your servant believes the government should stabilize grain prices to prevent merchants from seeking excessive profit, raising grain prices, and making it impossible for the common people to afford food. Good. This should also be included. Yin Zhang glanced at Meng Yi with some displeasure. This Meng Yi actually dares to steal my thunder. Your Majesty, if there are too many victims, a portion of the victims can also be relocated to more prosperous regions and repatriated after the calamity has passed. Confound it, how did these officials suddenly become so enlightened? Soldiers can also be recruited. Those who enlist shall have grain to eat, and also provide some to their families. Thus, a mouth is spared from the family's burden. Those who enlist can eat in the army, and their families can also receive a portion of grain. This can help them weather the calamity. Excellent. If the officials can become enlightened, that would be acceptable. Should any issues arise hereafter, the court officials will all offer counsel. It is far better than placing all hope upon a single individual. It would be far better if focused on a single individual. This subject has a word to offer. This subject also has a word to offer. The 100 officials all stepped forward to speak. A rare trace of a smile appeared on Yin Zhang's face. He watched the civil and military officials, each presenting their own suggestions, and nodded with satisfaction. This must be from when Meng Yu visited Zhengtai Palace yesterday, offering this counsel to Yin Zhang. Or perhaps it was a result of their joint discussion. Or is there another hidden figure offering counsel to His Majesty? Who is this person? Is it an ordinary person of exceptional talent? Or did a certain prince send someone to Beyonju to declare this matter to the commoners of Beyonju, so they would be aware? This subject obeys the decree. Your Majesty is sagacious. Has Your Majesty perhaps studied Confucian classics today, to thus embrace the commoners of the realm with such compassion? Are you preparing to govern the nation with benevolent rule? Humph, you fool! What His Majesty the First Emperor burned were your Confucian classics. To now claim His Majesty the First Emperor has read Confucian classics, is this not a blatant insult to His Majesty the First Emperor? Humph, of all that I have spoken, where in your Confucian classics is it recorded? Present it to this emperor for inspection. Yet, if within your Confucian classics such methods to save the world exist, why did none of you Confucian scholars ever propose them? Yin Zhang stared at Chen Yue, his eyes piercingly sharp, as if gazing up on prey. Or are you suggesting this emperor is unworthy of your Confucian assistance? Or perhaps, this emperor is not worthy to know your Confucian methods of saving the world? Your Majesty, within Confucian classics, no such content is recorded. It is merely that your Majesty today relieve the worries of the commoners, which is the conduct of a sagely ruler. This subject believed your Majesty would adopt the Confucian methods of governing the world. Problems that your Confucian school cannot resolve, this emperor can resolve. Do you truly believe this emperor requires what you speak of? The one truly saving the world is this emperor, not those Confucian classics you merely parrot. What so-called sagely ruler? This emperor is the one truly rescuing the commoners from their plight. Do you believe this emperor speaks truly? To reply, Your Majesty, if your Majesty continues as today, you shall indeed be a sagely ruler, one who saves all under heaven. But if your Majesty delights in grand Majesty is fond of grand achievements and seeks glory, building the Great Wall, constructing the Fang Palace, and erecting the first emperor's mausoleum, then you shall remain a tyrant. Hey, ha 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 ha, truly a scholar. Your tongue remains as stubborn as ever. These past few days, this emperor issued the decree to burn books. It seems scholars harbour considerable resentment towards this emperor. Your Majesty, scholars throughout the realm are protesting. We implore your Majesty to withdraw the decree. These books must not be burned. What does that signify? Surely His Majesty the First Emperor does not intend to withdraw the decree. Throughout his reign, His Majesty the First Emperor has always been a man of his word. None can thwart his will, and he will achieve it at any cost. No one can compel him to withdraw a decree. This emperor also knows that books are the foundation of civilization, and is aware of the harm of burning them. However, some individuals maliciously spread seditious ideologies, intending to incite the commoners to rebel against Great Qin, and undermine Great Qin's rule. If this continues, if some seek to use the power of books to oppose Great Qin, this emperor will burn all books at any cost, even destroy all written characters. Books may perish, but Great Qin must not. The civil officials' faces turned ashen. They knew well that their monarch always kept his word. If the first empire truly wished to destroy all written characters, then human civilization would revert to a barbaric age overnight. However, after much deliberation, this emperor feels that governing the nation is akin to dredging a river. To guide is better than to obstruct. This emperor has decided to establish the Hanlin Academy. All books under heaven shall be collected within the Hanlin Academy, to be reviewed and compiled by its scholars. The civil and military officials all turned to look at Yin Zhang in unison. They did not know the purpose of the Hanlin Academy, but at least the books would not be burned. All classics that pass the Hanlin Academy's review and receive its official endorsement may then circulate and be utilized. However, all books not reviewed by the Hanlin Academy and lacking its official endorsement shall be deemed contraband. Any private possession or clandestine circulation shall be met with severe punishment. This signifies that the legal school's control will be further enhanced. Zhong Chunsheng and Chen Yue exchanged glances. As long as books are not burned, all is well. Furthermore, with Yin Zhang establishing the Hanlin Academy, the review of books will necessarily require scholars. At that time, the standards will still be determined by them. The 100 schools of thought and all manner of doctrines will also require approval from the Hanlin Academy. They must be registered with the Hanlin Academy before they can be disseminated. Otherwise, they shall be deemed contraband and punished with severe laws. Dare this subject ask, Your Majesty, what is the Hanlin Academy? The 100 officials were also greatly curious, all turning their gaze to Yin Zhang, their faces filled with expectation. The Hanlin Academy shall be a forest of literature, a place of literary brilliance. It is a gathering place for scholars throughout the realm. Has His Majesty the First Emperor finally begun to value His Imperial Majesty finally begun to value the common people? The Hanlin Academy shall serve as the court's institution for selecting talent. It is also a place for selecting talent, encompassing literature, classical arts, calligraphy, painting, music, and the like. It shall also possess the function of gathering scholars from across the realm, and be charged with revising historical records and verifying factual accounts. The 100 officials immediately buzzed with excitement and began to discuss amongst themselves. They had already perceived the Hanlon Academy's significance. Its function is not merely to revise historical records, verify factual accounts, and the like, but also serves as the very institution for selecting talent. Thus, the future standing of the Hanlon Academy within the imperial court will undoubtedly be of paramount importance. Your Majesty is truly sagacious. Should the Hanlon Academy be established, scholars throughout the realm will surely be eternally grateful to Your Majesty. We thank Your Majesty for this fund everlance bestowed upon the scholars of the realm. This subject dares to recommend himself to serve Your Majesty in a position within the Hanlon Academy. Shameless, Your Majesty. This subject believes he is more suited for this position. This subject is willing to share Your Majesty's burdens. This Hanlon Academy is practically tailor-made for this subject. Allow this subject to take up the post. Ha ha ha. These men, seeing a piece of prime meat, immediately pounced to snatch it. Yet when they heard this emperor intended to burn books, they cursed this emperor as a tyrant, but not a single one considered how to resolve the problem. Were it not for the wise man's suggestion, this matter would likely still be festering. Your Majesty, this subject has already commanded that the collected books be properly organized. Once the Hanlon Academy is complete, they can be uniformly organized and reviewed. This subject dares to request a post, willing to share Your Majesty's duties at the Hanlon Academy. Upon hearing this, the Confucian scholars immediately grew anxious. They wished they could rush forward and gag Li Si. If the Hanlon Academy were to fall under Li Si's control, where would their Confucian school find a path to survival? Your Majesty, Chancellor Li Si is the overseer of punishments for our great Qin. His duties are numerous and demanding, and he is not suited to also manage the Hanlon Academy. This subject believes this post is more suitable for Imperial Censor Feng Ya. This subject is willing to share Your Majesty's burdens. No, Your Majesty. Our Confucian school excels at compiling classics and doctrines. This subject dares to recommend Zhong Changsheng for a position within the Hanlon Academy. You all need not argue further. This emperor has his own arrangements in mind. Meng Yu, the son of Meng Yi, holds the position of push in the imperial court. This position is not insignificant, and Meng Yu has just passed his 20th year. He's in the prime of his youth, full of vigor and talent. If he can manage the Hanlon Academy, his standing in the imperial court will undoubtedly soar 1,000 zhong. The next generation of the Meng family has risen once more. Meng Yu, this emperor has decided that you shall be responsible for the Hanlon Academy. Are you willing? This subject thanks Your Majesty for your immense grace. Though this subject is young, this subject often receives instruction from his grandfather and father. My grandfather once told this subject that if one still possesses strength, one should be willing to take to the battlefield and slay enemies for the nation. This subject also believes that as long as one possesses strength, regardless of age, all should dedicate themselves to great Qin. This subject will exert his utmost effort to fulfill the task Your Majesty has entrusted to him. Do well. Should you encounter anything you do not understand, seek guidance from your father. This subject thanks Your Majesty. Push Meng is still young and has not held a similar position before. Furthermore, he is not well versed in the classics of the various schools of thought. This subject fears he may be unable to fulfill the duties, and even less manage the Hanlon Academy effectively. You himself just stated that his father Meng Yi, though in his twilight years, still possesses the strength to take to the battlefield and slay enemies. Furthermore, Gen Luo became chancellor at the age of 12 and could govern the policies of a nation. Yet Meng Yu is past his 20th year. Why should he not be able to hold a position within the Hanlon Academy? You believe Meng Yu is incapable. Do you perhaps believe yourself capable? This subject believes Zhong Changsheng is more suitable for this post. Thank you, my dear brother. Ultimately, do you wish for the Hanlon Academy to fall into the hands of your Confucian school? Do you intend for the Hanlon Academy to fall into the hands of your Confucian school? Enough. This emperor's decision is made. This matter shall be entrusted to Meng Yu. Mention it no further. Yes, Your Majesty. Furthermore, this emperor also wishes to establish an era name system. What is an era name? I do not know. What has come over the first emperor? He has proposed so many things in succession. I feel my mind can barely keep up. An era name is the designation used by an emperor during his reign. It is representative and can record the chronological order of the dynasty, making it more convenient to record history. Furthermore, the existence of an era name serves even more to declare legitimacy, clarify the orthodox reign, and proclaim imperial might, manifesting the kingly way, and other significant political meanings. Moreover, the use of era names can also embody the legitimacy and orthodoxy of the imperial court's regime. It is a symbol of imperial authority. Yingzhang. It is almost as if copied directly from what the sage said. My beloved minister, do you find what I have said amusing? Responding to your majesty, I am merely sighing in admiration that your majesty is truly an emperor of 1,000 ages. The strategies you have proposed will benefit future generations and profit for all eternity. I am merely happy for your majesty, and happy for the people of Great Qin. Your Majesty's action greatly conforms to the rights and regulations of our Great Qin. It conforms to Confucian rights. We, your humble servants, shall certainly give our utmost support. China Yue was so excited he could not control himself. He was now very certain that Yingzheng absolutely had a profound understanding of Confucian teaching. The era name system proposed by the first emperor was simply too perfectly aligned with their Confucian concepts. The implementation of era names is very meaningful. For instance, if history records ancient year so and so, people might not immediately recall which emperor was in power. However, if one mentions year so and so, era name so and so, upon hearing the era name, everyone will know which emperor was reigning when those events occurred. You all, what era name do you think I should adopt? That would be suitable. Your Majesty, I believe it should be called Chengzhou. Silence, I believe it should be called rule of law. I believe it should be called lawful state. Governing the nation by law is a tradition of Great Qin. I believe it should be called Grand Tao. Great Qin unified the 6 states. And gaining the empire is the will of heaven. Those who obtain the heavenly Tao gain the hearts of the people and also gain the empire. Therefore, it should be called Grand Tao. Your Majesty, your unification of the 6 states was achieved through military force. It was forged by the countless soldiers of Great Qin who fought and sacrificed. I believe Martial Qin should be used as the era name. It should be called Grand Unification. Call it Radiant Sun. It should honor the 5 great mountains. So let it be Mount Tai. Listening to the officials' chatter, proposing various era names, Yingzheng only felt his scalp tingle with exasperation. So many people, yet none of their proposals were as good as the sages. He wondered how that sage's mind was formed. I have thought of 2. You all may listen. Everyone immediately fell silent and uniformly looked towards Yingzheng. They anticipated what kind of era name Yingzheng would propose. I have considered 2. The meaning of an era name is that it represents the emperor and the symbol and vision of his reign. Therefore, I unified the 6 states. I am the first emperor in history to achieve grand unification. I established the Great Qin Dynasty. I also standardized writing and card axles. Therefore, I believe it should be called First Unification or One Origin, World's Dawn. What do you all think? Which one sounds better? Excellent names. These names are far superior. The first emperor is absolutely right. An era name must have representative meaning. Upon hearing it, one should immediately know which emperor it refers to and what this emperor accomplished, what great deeds he performed. One Origin, World's Dawn holds greater meaning. It represents a new beginning and the unity of all things, unifying the world. Your Majesty, I believe One Origin, World's Dawn, better suits your Majesty's identity and status. It manifests your achievements and the great deeds you intend to accomplish during your reign. One Origin, World's Dawn is most suitable as the era name. Your Majesty, I believe First Unification is more appropriate. Because First Unification represents your self-proclamation as Qin Shi Huang, and that you are the first monarch to unify the world. Other ministers also believe First Unification is better. Your Majesty, First Unification suits you better. I believe One Origin, World's Dawn is more suitable. Watching everyone argue endlessly, a smile appeared at the corner of Yingzheng's mouth. It seems the most suitable era name is still the one given to him by the sage. It was indeed the era name given to him by the sage. I have decided to set the era name as One Origin, World's Dawn. It represents I, Qin Shi Huang, ushering in a prosperous era. All future generations shall inherit my will, making Great Qin even stronger. Congratulations, Your Majesty. Joyful congratulations, Your Majesty. General Li perished. His life exchanged for 2 grand mythical entities. While the numerous officials carried out in congratulation, the grand historian quickly recorded 8th year of the first emperor of the Great Qin Dynasty. The first emperor established the era name system in the imperial court. He set the era name as One Origin, World's Dawn. From this point, this year shall be recorded as the 8th year of One Origin, World's Dawn. Since the era name has been established, I shall undertake another great endeavor. It shall stand for future generations, for all scholars under heaven. What has come over the first emperor? He's frantically introducing new policies. Your Majesty, the empire has just been settled. New policies should be temporarily delayed from implementation. It is not advisable to have too many. Indeed, Your Majesty, the path must be walked one step at a time. Moreover, one must not be greedy for hasty progress. This new policy does not affect the common people under heaven. It is a great matter that will benefit for all eternity. You all need not worry. I believe there are too many books under heaven. They are too chaotic and disorganized. Furthermore, there is no unified structure. This is not conducive to their transmission to future generations, and even less conducive to learning for future generations. I have decided that after the Hanlon Academy is established, we shall begin compiling the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn. This Grand Compendium shall include theories from various schools of thought, as well as agricultural texts, methods of metallurgy, artistic works, astrology, divination, and the like. It shall encompass myriad things, gathering all books under heaven within its pages. With the passage of time, it can be continuously revised. Future emperors can also continuously revise and perfect it. Ultimately, it will become a compendium, containing all knowledge under heaven. Your Majesty is sagacious. This endeavor will benefit for 10,000 generations, and profit for all eternity. Future generations will benefit endlessly. For the common people under heaven, and for the scholars under heaven, the benefits will be boundless. We, your humble servants, are willing to revise this Grand Compendium for your Majesty. I am also willing to gather scholars from all under heaven for your Majesty, to reside in Xionyang, and collect all classics under heaven. We shall revise the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn for your Majesty. I am also willing to compile this Grand Compendium for your Majesty. I shall go through fire and water, and not shrink from a myriad deaths. I am also willing to compile this Grand Compendium for your Majesty. Count me among them. More than half of the civil officials in the imperial court surprisingly knelt down. All were willing to participate in compiling the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn as scholars, and even more so as officials in the imperial court. They immediately understood the importance of the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn. You all are willing to participate in this. My heart is greatly comforted. Your names shall certainly also remain within the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn, for future generations to admire. To have one's name recorded in the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn means one's name will be etched in history. What does a civil official pursue throughout his life? Is it not to leave his name in the world? Instantly, the group of people became as if invigorated, wishing they could immediately begin participating in the compilation of the Grand Compendium of World's Dawn. Imperial Father, your son has an important matter to report. Speak, Your Majesty, please dismiss your attendants. What is happening now? As soon as they open their mouths, they wish for me to dismiss my attendants. Are they all guarding against this emperor? But it concerns matters of the imperial court. No, it concerns Imperial Father's safety. Prince Fusu, you need not be overly worried. Recently, His Majesty has been overly fatigued, and his imperial health is not at its best. However, within this Xionyang Palace, His Majesty will not be in any danger. What if the danger comes from those close to him? Zhao Gao's expression subtly changed. His cold, sinister eyes immediately fixed on Fusu. Fusu, for the first time, felt that Zhao Gao actually possessed such a cold, sinister gaze. His heart couldn't help but be startled. Master Xion always said how wolfishly ambitious Zhao Gao was. Before, I had not paid it much heed. After all, he was merely an eunuch. Now it seems Zhao Gao indeed hides his true nature very deeply. Could this Fusu possibly know something? Then Prince Fusu need not worry further. Every person by His Majesty's side has undergone layers of rigorous screening. It is impossible for anyone to harbour ill intentions towards His Majesty. Imperial Father, please dismiss your attendants. Your son has a matter of utmost importance to report to you. Your Majesty, you all may leave. Yes, Zhao Gao hesitated for a moment. His cold, sinister eyes swept over Fusu. Then he lowered his head and quickly departed from Zhangtai Palace. Speak. What is the matter? Imperial Father, the immortal elixirs you are consuming are poisonous. Hearing this, Yin Zhang's expression couldn't help but darken. Feeling the majesty emanating from Yin Zhang and his imposing aura, Fusu's heart was startled. Imperial Father, what your son says is not false. It is a conclusion your son reached after testing it. Your son crushed the elixirs and fed them to poultry. After one night, they all perished. If Imperial Father does not believe me, those perished poultry are right within your son's bedchamber. You may have someone bring them here. How did you discover this? Your son speaks the truth. It was one of your son's masters, who is also a friend, who informed your son. He told your son that those elixirs contain potent poison. If consumed long-term, one would suffer mental derangement at best, and sudden death on the spot at worst. How did he come to know this? Imperial Father, this person is a talent unmatched in the world. He knows astronomy, geography, and even the 5 millennia of history. His profound and vast knowledge can truly be said to be divine. For him to know this matter is not surprising. Haha, it is precisely the sage who has been offering strategies and plans to this emperor, and who declared he would present great achievements to this emperor. It is indeed this person. Excellent. This person indeed possesses astonishing talent and learning. This person has offered excellent strategies to this emperor. I am quite curious about this person. Since this person is so capable, I shall go to the Eastern Palace tonight and have the sage await me. I have many questions I wish to ask him. Yes, your son obeys your command. You may leave. Remember, the matter of the poisonous elixirs. Do not reveal this to outsiders. Why, Imperial Father? Those elixirs are highly poisonous. Perhaps common livestock are simply not blessed enough to partake of this immortal treasure. The immortal master told this emperor before that these immortal elixirs are not to be consumed by those without great fortune. If all livestock could consume them, and all could become immortals by doing so, then what would this emperor be? Imperial Father, what Mr. Zia said must be true, and those livestock truly died. Enough. This emperor is well aware of this matter. You may withdraw. Do not forget, this emperor will go to the Eastern Palace tonight to converse with Mr. Zia. Your son understands, and will certainly inform Mr. Zia to await Imperial Father. After Fusu left, Yingzheng summoned Man Yi and Zhao Gao. Do you know what Fusu told this emperor? This servant does not know. Fusu told this emperor that the immortal elixirs this emperor consumes daily are poisonous, and highly so. Your Majesty, Prince Fusu is merely fear-mongering. Immortal elixirs are immortal medicines. How could they possibly be poisonous? Your Majesty, if the immortal elixirs are poisonous, this subject implores Your Majesty to cease consuming them. Esteemed Minister Wang, do even you believe this? This subject believes Prince Fusu would not speak without reason. Even you wish to prevent this emperor from attaining immortality. This subject dares not. Zhao Gao, what do you think? This servant believes immortal elixirs are divine products, and surely not poisonous. Go fetch an immortal elixir. Bring another one. Zhao Gao immediately produced another pill, placing it on a jade plate. From now on, you shall consume them with this emperor. Your Majesty, this servant's humble body, how could it be worthy of consuming such wondrous immortal elixirs? Zhao Gao, you have served this emperor for so many years. This emperor cannot bear to part with you. If these immortal elixirs are indeed poisonous, then you shall consume them with this emperor, and you can still serve this emperor in the underworld. If this emperor attains immortality, and no one serves this emperor would still be unaccustomed. This emperor still finds it unfamiliar. By consuming the elixirs with this emperor, you can naturally remain by this emperor's side, enjoying immortality together with this emperor, and guarding this emperor day and night. Do you not desire this? Yingzhang's sinister eyes stared at Zhao Gao, revealing no emotion. Not a trace of emotion could be discerned. Upon hearing this, Zhao Gao knew not whether to cry or laugh. This servant thanks Your Majesty for your divine grace, and is willing to consume them with this emperor. Seeing this, Yingzhang also put one into his mouth, making a swallowing motion. But within his sleeve, the elixir already lay quietly. Truly worthy of being this emperor's closest confidant. From now on, you shall share immortality with this emperor in this manner daily. This servant is willing to attend Your Majesty for hundreds, even thousands of years, forever by Your Majesty's side. Forever by Your Majesty's side. Zhao Gao was, surprisingly, somewhat moved. Yingzhang refined these immortal elixirs, requiring vast sums of wealth. Yet he had not bestowed them upon his own concubines or princes, but had given them to him. Enough. You may withdraw for now. Yes, Your Majesty. General Wang Ben seeks an audience outside. Given the teaching style of Wang Jian, that old fox, he would certainly not permit Wang Ben to involve himself in court affairs. Why would he come to seek this emperor? Let him wait for now. Yes, Man Yi. How do you think this emperor performed today? Your Majesty is wise and divinely mighty. All civil and military officials were utterly stunned. Even Chan Yue and his ilk of old fogies hailed Your Majesty as a sagely ruler. Oh, did you not find this emperor rather laughable? Like a mere mimicking bird? Your Majesty, this subject merely witnessed the court officials' profound admiration for Your Majesty, and their changed perception of you. The sound I made was merely an outpouring of uncontrollable joy. How could this subject ever mark Your Majesty? Do you know why this emperor, in court today, sent Fusu away? This subject knows, because Prince Fusu knew Mr. Zia's strategy. And if he were to reveal it prematurely, it would cause your majesty's plan to fail. What do you think this emperor would do, were it someone else? What will I do? This subject does not know. This emperor would bestow upon him 3 feet of earth, order a deep pit to be dug, and grant him a place of eternal slumber. Enough, rise. Yin Zhang picked up a bamboo token and handed it to Meng Yi. Take this emperor's decree, proceed to the treasury to retrieve this emperor's reward, and deliver it to Mr. Zia. Yes, furthermore, Meng Yi will surely seek you out. Wishing to see this emperor, tell him there is no need. You two shall handle the matters of the Hanlin Academy together. Meng Yi is young, after all, and is bound to be less than thorough in his work. He still requires assistance. This subject thanks your majesty for your benevolence on Meng Yi's behalf. He is, after all, a child this emperor watched grow up. When you depart, summon Wang Ben. Yes. Soon after, Wang Ben entered the hall. Your majesty. This subject has a request. Speak, your majesty. Recently, you proposed numerous methods in court to resolve the refugee crisis, yet none have been dispatched to implement them. This subject boldly requests your majesty to bestow a position upon my son, Wang Li, allowing him to serve provisionally, to oversee the initial efforts, and to employ your majesty's proposed strategies to rescue the refugees from their plight. Upon hearing this, Yin Zhang immediately pictured the simple-minded fellow, with a touch of baby fat, that plump, round-faced lad. Wang Ben, you should be well aware that your Wang clan is a lineage of military generals. This subject understands. You may withdraw for now. This emperor shall consider this matter. It is not that a military clan cannot produce civil officials, but rather, the crucial point is that your family must produce a suitable civil official, that oafish simpleton. This emperor truly cannot trust him to serve as a civil official. Being a military general suits him well enough. After Wang Ben departed, only Yin Zhang remained within the vast Zhangtai palace. Yin Zhang held a bamboo scroll and perused a memorial, a lecherous, playful sword, surrounded by dancing girls, staring intently, drooling, and loudly proclaiming, "Continue the music, continue the dance." Then, he dismissed the dancing girls sent to his chambers, choosing to sleep alone. Ha ha, Mr. Zia, oh Mr. Zia, what kind of man are you truly? Are you genuinely lecherous, or is this merely a facade for protection? Another figure appeared in his mind. Wang Jian, he, too, was a man who, for self-preservation, feigned lechery to tarnish his own reputation. Wang Jian's self-abasement was for this emperor's eyes. What about you, Mr. Zia? Is it this emperor? Or is there another who threatens your safety? Sima Han, have you discovered who was responsible for Mr. Zia's imprisonment? Reporting to your majesty, the investigation is complete. It was the Shai and Chen families from the east of the city, specifically Chen Songbai, the fourth son of Chen Luoshan, head of the Chen family, who had Mr. Zia unjustly imprisoned. Why? Sima Han then recounted the entire sequence of events. This was said once. Go, have someone intercept. Li Si. Many officials were waiting outside Zhangtai Palace. Yin Zhang had only summoned Meng Yi and Wang Ben. Li Si was quite helpless and could only depart with the other officials. Chancellor Li, His Majesty wishes to see you. It seems this subject remains His Majesty's favoured minister. His Majesty still requires this subject for the Hanlin Academy matter. This subject must participate in it. This is a singular achievement that will endure for 1,000 autumns. But soon, Li Si realised something was amiss. The path they took led nowhere near Zhangtai Palace. After an attendant led him into a side hall, the attendant bowed and withdrew. His Majesty is within. Chancellor Li, you may await him here. In the blink of an eye, the time it takes for an incense stick to burn had passed. Yet outside the door, there was still no movement. Li Si's legs had grown numb from standing, and he wished to find a place to sit. But he saw the attendant standing in the corner, staring fixedly at him. Today's events were rather peculiar. This was clearly Yin Zhang's way of reprimanding this subject. What exactly had this subject done wrong? Fusu returned with a dejected expression, only to see Mr. Zia seated in the courtyard, performing some peculiar stances, seemingly practicing a cultivation technique. Mister, is this the cultivation technique you practice? Indeed. This is the 7th set of broadcast gymnastics. Practice it every morning, and it will refresh your spirit and clear your mind. The 7th set of broadcast gymnastics possesses such an invigorating effect. Truly worthy of Mr. Oh, and Mister, why did you not permit me to attend court today? Hey, were you expelled? Then why have you returned so late? I sought out Father Emperor. Why seek him out? Mister, I followed the method you described. crushing the elixir and feeding it to poultry. After a single night, they perished instantly. So you sought out Qin Shi Huang and informed him of this matter. Indeed. If Fusu himself were a man eager for quick success and immediate gain, abandoning familial bonds for personal profit, then Mr. Zia would not assist such a person. However, what Fusu has done now will disrupt his plans. What did your father Emperor say? I believe Father Emperor was inclined to believe, yet he was unwilling to accept it. He said the immortal master once proclaimed, immortal elixirs are not for those without profound karmic fortune. Should one consume them, they shall perish violently. My father Emperor also believes this to be true, and thus feels I am hindering his pursuit of immortality. Hey, that does sound like something your father Emperor would say. Mister, should I not have informed Father Emperor? He seemed quite displeased. It's not that you shouldn't have informed him. Of all virtues, filial piety comes first. You are a truly kind person. Since you became aware of this matter, it was inevitable that you would inform your father Emperor. Otherwise, you would be betraying your own conscience. But then again, informing Qin Shi Huang at this moment that immortal elixirs are false, and that immortality is also a deception, is too great a shock for him. He will not be willing to believe it. He would not be willing to believe. It is as if you toiled tirelessly. And finally, when it is time to ascend the imperial throne, suddenly someone steps forth and declares that you are unfit to be emperor, that there is a more capable prince than yourself, and he alone should rule. What bitterness would fill your heart? What feelings would you harbor? Naturally, it would be immensely stifling, perhaps leading to melancholy. And those with weaker constitutions might even perish from a build-up of resentment in their hearts. His Majesty Qin Shi Huang now harbors similar sentiments. Fusu fell silent. Though he clearly knew the immortal elixirs were poisonous, and had clearly informed his imperial father still stubbornly pursued his own path. He knew it was poisonous, yet he could not save his imperial father. Esteemed sir, is there truly no other recourse? There is, esteemed sir. Pray tell me, rebellion. Indeed, you need only gather an army of 300,000 to march upon Xianyang, compel the first emperor to abdicate, and forcibly prevent him from further consuming the immortal elixirs. Only then can you save him. I comprehend. Esteemed sir, you have yet to inform me why you advised me against attending the morning court yesterday. For the first emperor's eldest son, you truly are lacking. Do you not understand your imperial father? Naturally, I do. Then tell me, what manner of man is your imperial father? My imperial father is an autocratic, domineering, and ambitious man with an insatiable lust for power. You do not understand your imperial father in the slightest. Could it be that esteemed sir understands my imperial father better than I? You likely are unaware that your imperial father once experienced a period of great weakness. How utterly domineering is my imperial father? How could he possibly be weak? Your imperial father is a man who delights in grand achievements. Thus, yesterday, after Man Yi had heard the strategies I proposed, he would undoubtedly report them to His Majesty Qin Shi Huang at once. And once His Majesty Qin Shi Huang received these strategies, he would deem them to greatly enhance his personal merits. Therefore, he would assuredly bring up this matter at the morning court paused. He greatly wished to say that Yin Zhang would both be for the 100 officials. But upon reflection, he decided against such harsh words. Thus, if you were present, it would hinder your imperial father's display and cause him great embarrassment. You are the very person he least desires to see at today's morning court. Yet, you insist on appearing. Tell me, how could he then conduct the morning court? He would most certainly cast you out. It is as simple as that. Mr. Zia explained. His Majesty declared that esteemed Mr. Zia has rendered great service by presenting national strategies, and thus commanded me to deliver these rewards unto you. He bestows upon you 10,000 taels of gold, a grand residence within Xianyang City, and 1,000 mu of fertile land beyond the city walls. This is the deed for the lands outside the city. This servant thanks your Majesty. This is the deed for the residence, which Men Yi personally selected for esteemed sir. It is a most excellent location. As per His Majesty's command, its scale and grandeur are equal to that of a Grand Minister's estate. A grand residence, this is indeed a fine treasure. And to be of the same scale as a Grand Minister's estate, this is truly a magnificent mansion. His Majesty further stated that for Mr. Zia to devise such national strategy, he is worthy of being called a national scholar. He shall personally visit you in the Eastern Palace this evening. This servant thanks your Majesty for his profound benevolence, and shall respectfully await His Majesty's arrival here. Hey, ha ha ha, there is one more matter. Meng Yi also wishes to express his gratitude to esteemed Mr. Zia, and that is... Your Majesty, this humble son is responsible for matters
he
concerning
must
the Hanlon
thank
Academy. Esteemed Mr. Zia. Had esteemed Mr. Zia not put for this suggestion, then Meng, you would not have been granted this opportunity. Upon hearing this, Fusu immediately grew displeased. He too had set his sights upon this position, to control the scholars of the realm. This was the dream of countless learned men. Alas, he could not even attend the morning court, for he was cast out. How many children do you and your elder brother, Meng Jia? This subject has 3 sons, the eldest, Meng Yu, the second, Meng Dong, and the third, Meng Lin. My elder brother, Meng Jia, has 4 sons, the second, Meng Chong, the third, Meng Yai, and the fourth, Meng Dayan. Historically, the Meng family's unwavering loyalty to the sovereign offered their all for the great Qin Dynasty, yet vanished into the dust of history. Should Meng Yu have any queries regarding the construction of the Hanlon Academy, he may come and consult me. Many thanks esteemed Mr. Zia on behalf of his humble son. You must inform Meng Yu that in its construction as a repository for books, the Hanlon Academy must possess a dedicated library. The stored text must be protected from dampness and moisture, ensuring the interior remains dry. Concurrently, it must also be safeguarded against fire. Otherwise, a single great blaze could reduce the entire Hanlon Academy to ashes, and all would be ruined in an instant. Esteemed sir, what would be an appropriate size for the Hanlon Academy if all the books in the realm are to be gathered and classics compiled? The immense space required for such a grand collection of texts, I fear it will be a monumental undertaking. Presently, the construction of the Great Wall, the Pang Palace, and the mausoleum of the First Emperor has already depleted too much of the populace's strength. If we were to then grandly embark on constructing the Hanlon Academy, I fear the common folk would not endure it. You may construct a portion first, leaving vacant land for future expansion. Since that is the case, I shall no longer trouble esteemed sir. Meng Yi takes his leave. Watching Meng Yi depart, Mr. Zia swiftly approached the chest and opened it. After all, 10,000 taels of gold. He had never before witnessed such a vast amount of gold. This is gold. Esteemed sir, the reward of 10,000 taels of gold does not refer to actual gold. True gold is exceedingly precious, and even within Xianyang Palace, there is not an abundance of it. The so-called gold bestowed as a reward can refer to gold, white gold, or red gold. So, what is this I possess? It is red gold, which is to say, copper. Heavens, does the Emperor's bounty also involve deceit? Esteemed sir, mind your words. Alas, have someone put it away. Fusu, pray tell me once more. When your imperial father spoke to you of his desire to meet me, what exactly did he say? Fusu recounted the events that transpired at Zhangtai Palace to esteemed Mr. Zia. How many times did he utter it? Twice. Alas, it is over. It is over. It is over. What troubles you so? The first emperor has set his sights upon me. Why do you speak thus? He spoke to you twice. And then at Meng Yi specifically come to reiterate it once more. What immense importance is this? To value esteemed sir. Is that not a favourable turn of events? For me, it is not a favourable turn of events. The bestowed rewards are not official, meaning they're not official imperial grants, but rather Yin Zheng's personal gifts. His purpose in acting thus is to ensure no one else knows. Why does Imperial Father act in such a manner? There are 2 reasons for keeping my existence a secret. Firstly, he believes I possess talent, and fears I might be exploited by others. Secondly, he fears I might be harmed by others. Thirdly, Yin Zheng harbors other intentions concerning me. What precisely they are, I cannot discern. Fusu, we must hasten our affairs, were it not for certain considerations. Esteemed Mr. Zia would wish to flee with Fusu at this very moment, but to accomplish great deeds, one still requires legitimacy. Yin Zheng must be made to banish Fusu from Xianyang to oversee the army in Shangjun. Esteemed sir, you appear to greatly fear my imperial father, yet by your own words, you believe my imperial father is no tyrant. Why then do you still fear him so? Are you foolish? I do not fear him, but rather I fear he will disrupt our plans. Indeed, I have stated it many times, rebellion is imperative. You wish to save your imperial father, and to make him cease consuming the elixirs, you must employ force. Otherwise, he will not listen in the slightest. If the rebellion succeeds, I can attempt to employ certain methods to save your imperial father. Of course, the prerequisite for all of this is our success. Should we fail, the victor becomes king, the vanquished a rebel. One general's glory is built upon 10,000 with her bone. It is either life or death. When you resolve to undertake this, you must possess the courage to face death. But I am unwilling to take up arms against my imperial father. If you cannot steal your resolve, then I can depart. Though the Qin Dynasty may fall, there will still be the Han, the Tang, and various other dynasties like the Chu. To establish an even more powerful and prosperous era, I can go and assist another true dragon. I am not bound to support the great Qin alone. What I must assist is the Waxia people, the continuation of civilization, to lay the foundation for a lasting legacy for myriad generations to come, is to ensure our Waxia people stand firm and unyielding in this world forevermore. Born in this era, one must strive for great undertakings. What I truly desire is to establish the very foundation of our human race. The rise and fall of dynasties are but like winter yielding to spring, a cycle of renewal. And in the grand tapestry of history, they are but fleeting moments. If you are confined by such limitations, then assist me. Esteemed Mr. Zia takes his leave. Having spoken, esteemed Mr. Zia turned to depart. For one such as Fusu, who is foolishly loyal and filial, a potent remedy must be administered. Esteemed sir, pray do not depart. Esteemed sir, do not leave. Fusu is foolish and has disappointed esteemed sir. I beg esteemed sir, do not leave. This Fusu, much like a young maiden in her student days, would become compliant with a feigned retreat. Fusu, I once inquired of you what your aspiration in this life was. You stated it was to establish a world of great harmony. Is that not so? It is. I once said your ideals were impractical. Is that not so? It is. I also stated that the Mohist ideals were impractical. Yet, I greatly admire Mozi himself, proclaiming him to be truly great. Is that not so? It is. Then today, I shall impart another ideal unto you, and you must remember it well. Is that so? It is. Then today, I shall impart another ideal to you, and you must remember it well. Please speak, Mr. You are a scholar, and moreover, a prince. In the future, you may even become a monarch. Remember this well. The ideals for this life should be to establish a heart for heaven and earth, to secure the destiny of the common people, to carry on the lost teachings of past sages, and to open an era of peace for all generations. Fusu's face was etched with shock. He gazed at Mr. in disbelief. In his eyes, Mr. was now enveloped in a radiant aura, no longer an ordinary mortal, more akin to a banished immortal, to establish a heart for heaven and earth, to secure the destiny of the common people, to carry on the lost teachings of past sages, to open an era of peace for all generations. What truly grand ideals these are. Have you committed this to memory? May I ask, Mr., are these also your ideals? I shall strive to live up to these ideals and never bring shame upon them in this life. My gratitude for your teachings, Mr. Fusu shall surely make this oath his lifelong creed. And for the rest of his days, he shall bind himself by these four tenets, constantly reflecting upon them, making them his standard of conduct. I cannot achieve all of this, nor can you. However, we, the Waxia people, must, generation after generation, take this as our goal, continuously strive to perfect our world, to allow our common folk to live more happily, and to make our nation more prosperous and flourishing. Success or failure often hinges on a single thought. There is no room for hesitation. Fusu understood. Mr., what course of action should we take? There is no need to rush yet. When the time comes, simply do as I instruct. Fusu shall heed all of Mr.'s words. Let us first go and see my abode. Within a side hall of Xianyang Palace, Li Si had already waited for the duration of several incense sticks. He had originally risen at the yin hour. Attending court at the Mao hour had already consumed several hours. And now, this prolonged wait. He felt a severe ache and swelling in his legs. Your subject, Li Si, pays his respects to your majesty. Rise. My gratitude, your majesty. You have come to see us, no doubt concerning the Hanlin Academy. This subject merely wishes to alleviate your majesty's burdens. The Hanlin Academy is a matter of national importance, concerning the future of Great Qin. This subject humbly implores your majesty to entrust him with the responsibility of the Hanlin Academy. Li Si, is the authority we have bestowed upon you not vast? All that this subject possesses was granted by your majesty. This subject holds no inherent authority, merely executing your majesty's will on your behalf. We believe the authority we have granted you is still insufficient, unable to satisfy your ambitions. Thus you desire greater authority, even more power, preferably to control the entirety of Great Qin. Is that not so? This subject harbors no such intentions. Loyal and devoted to your majesty, with no trace of disloyalty, Your Majesty. We entrusted the Hanlin Academy to Meng Yi, precisely because we do not wish for it to become the mouthpiece of a single school of thought. Though we do not favor the teachings of the Confucians, yet Confucianism still holds its uses. To burn all books, to slaughter every Confucian scholar in the realm, that would be arduous. They are obstinate, and would instead believe resisting us to be a virtuous act. Even in death, their names would be etched in history. They would deem such a demise a worthy one. Ha ha, we shall deny them that very opportunity. We shall establish the Hanlin Academy to confine the Confucians within its walls, and compel them to live according to our will. Only with our permission may they impart knowledge. Without our leave, they shall not. We intend for them to serve our purpose. The Hanlin Academy belongs not to the Confucians, nor to the legalists. It is true, we do not entrust you with the Hanlin Academy. But this is not to deny your legalist school an opportunity. Your legalist scholars shall also enter its ranks. You may arrange for suitable candidates. My gratitude, Your Majesty. You just stated that all your authority was granted by us, merely exercising power on our behalf. How does it feel to act on our behalf? This subject dares not presume. This subject merely attends to Your Majesty's affairs. Whatever Your Majesty commands this subject to do, this subject shall do. Should Your Majesty bid this subject go west, this subject would never dare venture east. You are merely our subject. What if we were to pass the imperial throne to another? Would your loyalty remain steadfast? For instance, were we to bestow it upon a prince who favored Confucianism, or perhaps upon a prince who championed military law? If the standing of your legalist school were no longer as it is today, what then would be your course of action? Li Si's heart sank with a jolt. Yin Zhang had probed the very fear that resided deepest in his heart. He harbored a strong aversion to Fusu, wishing to elevate Prince Gao to a position of power. For should Fusu ascend to the throne, he would no longer attain his current standing, nor his current authority. Your Majesty is destined for eternal life, and this subject shall not live to see that day, but shall surely precede Your Majesty in death. Thus, this subject has never pondered such matters. Have you truly not considered it, or do you merely dare not speak of it? He sensed that he could not evade the truth today. Yin Zhang intended to make himself clear this very day. Why? Could it be that ... Could it be that Yin Zhang has already decided upon an heir apparent, and intends to name Fusu as the crown prince? Li Si, you must remember this. Your authority is granted by us. We can bestow it upon you, and we can reclaim it. All that you enjoy today was bestowed by us, and by Great Qin itself. No matter which prince ascends to our throne, you shall remain a subject. This subject understands. This subject shall not only pledge loyalty to Your Majesty, but also to the prince chosen by Your Majesty, and most importantly, to Great Qin itself. You will not. You wish to choose an emperor more amenable to your own interests, an emperor who can grant you greater authority. This subject harbors no such thoughts. Humph, see to it that all books are properly catalogued, and all sent to Xianyang Palace. Should any be left behind, you alone shall be held accountable. This subject obeys Your Majesty's decree. Only then did Li Si recover his senses, and rose to depart. Upon returning home, Li Si secluded himself in his study, feeling disoriented and unsettled, his mind greatly disturbed. My lord, Zhao Gao, the director of the imperial carriages, requests an audience with you. Zhao Gao wishes to see him. What could be his purpose in seeking me out? Within the imperial court, he and Zhao Gao were considered political adversaries. Zhao Gao, presuming upon Yin Zhang's favor, often opposed him, and relentlessly sought to usurp his authority. He had long harbored a deep-seated hatred for Zhao Gao. At such a juncture, Zhao Gao comes to seek him out. Why then? Could it be that Zhao Gao has received some tidings from His Majesty, and wishes to impart them to me? Or perhaps he seeks to engage in a trade of interest with me. Bid him enter my study.